Another aspect I just want to throw out here as we start to tap into more of the aerial elements, and maybe Peter, I know, and some other people tap into this too, is this idea of this galactic civilization, that we're not the only beings in this great, vast universe of multiverses. Life is abundant on many levels, and when we start to think with the possibility that we aren't the only ones, when we start to open our minds, because the age of air, the air element is about the mind, it's about opening our mind, we'll start to realize that we've been limited by the fabrications of our psychology and our psychological paradigm, and that you can start to receive thoughts, not just from other people, from other beings. I mean, the shamanic cultures themselves would talk to plants, and you know what? The plants would talk back. The plants would say, this plant is good for this kind of medicine, that kind of medicine. So, but I'm also saying off planet, we have the capabilities, once we get out of the limitations of this very narrow way of being that we've existed in for the last 2 ages or 3 ages, that there's more to the cosmos, and that we have the mental facility to access those realms. So these ETs that seem to be showing up in more frequency, they want to communicate with us, but it's as if like someone's knocking at the door and we're not hearing it. We have to open the facilities of our brain and stop doubting who we are as these amazing, multifaceted creatures, and start to hear the voice of our own higher consciousness and start to connect with other beings who are also communicating to us through that facility of mind. I really think that's the next wave of our future, to realize that we're not alone and that we have this mechanism it's like a channel, a two-way channel, to make those communications. And people are doing it. I mean, it's looked at pretty strangely now if you say you're communicating with ETs, but as we start to change how we think about ourselves and what the nature of the mind is, and to realize that the mind is actually not contained in the brain. The brain is like a radio receiver. The radio is not it's not like generating music, it's picking up the music. Your brain is not necessarily generating your thoughts, it's picking up the thoughts from a non-local reality, a non-local consciousness. And when we realize that we're non-local, which is really the element of the air and beyond, then we realize that who we are non-local beings, that we're connected to eternity and infinity, and that we exist on all realms, and we can start to pull that awareness into our embodiment. So that's what truly the age of Aquarius, this age of air, is about, is pulling the non-local understanding, this understanding, into the physical form, and start to act from the place of a greater awareness and greater interaction, and give up the petty wars and arguments and dramas that have kept us in a lower frequency and in density. Music